and I pushed everyone else around me too. There's a long trail of bodies going back many years. Not literal bodies. We're in the realm of figurative language.
But he's distinguishing the realm, though. Yeah. Isn't that awesome?
Yep. And you know what I got? I had to have a breakdown on stage at the microphone with Kathy and Joe hitting me, but
they weren't actually hitting.
Weren't literally hitting. We're still in the realm of figurative language. I haven't left, but I realized I can be comfortable just being.
Yeah.
I didn't need to be some, here's an example of how crazy this was, this thing I was telling myself. I beat myself up for not being a millionaire before the age of 30. I'm 29. I have, I have a dozen more examples like that. And at this point, I feel pretty just calm, comfortable in my own skin, and not feeling like I always have something I need to prove.
Isn't that great, dude?
Yeah. Awesome.
Well done.
First off, Nimrod, I'm sorry about walking in right now.
Oh, dude, no worries.
So what I got out of the advanced course was something I've been meaning to take care of for a while, but I never took care of it during the forum, and I was delaying taking care of it during the seminar, and that was touching base with my half sister, who she and I have we don't have much of a relationship because she and my dad have never had much of a relationship. She just doesn't want to be a part of my dad's life. And so that made it very difficult for us to have a relationship with each other because I always felt some sort of resentment toward that. So what ended up happening for me during the advanced course was I ended up giving her a call, and we talked for about half hour, 40 minutes, somewhere in there, and we became complete with each other, and we set forth the possibility to help each other have a new possibility of a relationship with each other, and then as well to create a new possibility of reconnecting the entire family. So getting my dad and her back in touch with each other and having them be complete, and as well as with my mom, and then potentially maybe down the line my half brother, and then the rest of the family as well. And then on top of that, one of the last things that we did on Sunday was I realized that who I am is the possibility of life, and that's not only so that includes life for my family, having them have a great and successful life and a fulfilling life, and that goes for my friends as well, but also connecting that into a pediatric cancer foundation that I run with my family, and using that as a catalyst to create life and meaning for kids with cancer. And so that's the possibility that I've created.
You guys are great. I mean, great. I mean, just listen to what's being shared here. You could be sitting there listening from some, well, I don't have something like that. But no, when I say you guys are great, I mean you are great. I mean, amazing. It's unbelievable. Everybody in this room is creating something remarkable, extraordinary. And if we could just have everybody share, I'd do it. I'm not gonna, but I do it, just so you know, because I just love talking with you and hearing from you, and it's inspiring. And I know there's the struggle of it, and there's the agony and the ecstasy of it, and sometimes it's up, and sometimes it's down, and it's all over the show. I get it, right? I know. I mean, I live it too. But that your people here are committed to what's possible in life over what we just get handed in the, roulette, not the roulette game, but the blackjack game of life. You're going to create what's possible rather than just live with that. That is just unbelievable. So thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to lead your seminar. It's a real pleasure. All right, so you ready for a breakthrough? Ready to create the next level of something? Because we're going to have a conversation now that we don't have this conversation with everybody. You can't have this conversation with everybody. Most people would run screaming or throw rocks at you or be upset or just be like, why are you saying any of this? Because it just wouldn't work. I've tried. I tried at work to have this conversation. It went horribly. 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 See, we have the following conversation with people who are up to something big in life. Because here's the thing. When you put yourself in a game that calls for you to be extraordinary, something beyond, just what an ordinary human being would do, when you step into that game and you have a commitment to excel in that game, you have to deal with conversations that people who are spectators in that game don't have to deal with. It's like going to, jump in the pool and do a 100-meter race at the Olympics. You have different conversations down in the water than you do sitting up in the stands. It's just a different conversation. So this conversation is about people who want, it's not about people, it's for people who are committed to being in a big game and taking on big possibilities. And it being, playing at a very high level in their life. So I'm asserting, so we're going to address some of the spaces that take us there, right? So I'm asserting that against the possibility of what's possible in this seminar, and against the possibility of what's possible in life, if you think about it, what's really possible in life, against the possibility that this seminar makes available, I'm asserting that there's inauthenticity in the space of the seminar as a whole. Now,
could you repeat that one more time?
Yeah, I'm asserting that against the possibility of what's available in this seminar, the possibility that your life is, against that possibility, there's inauthenticity in the space of the seminar. Now, you got to watch. This is now like training opportunity number 1, right? Because almost for sure, most brains in this room said, he said something's wrong. Something's wrong. There's inauthenticity in the space of the seminar? Where is it? Oh my God. I didn't say there's something wrong. So if you're hearing there's something wrong here, I invite you to be responsible for that. Where that's happening is in your listening, not in what I'm saying. You get it? Okay, good. But regardless, now's the appropriate time to move the seminar to the next level. And that's what we're going to do. So each time that you and I confront our inauthenticity, each time that you have the courage as a human being to confront your inauthenticity, you have the opportunity to cause a breakthrough into the next level of freedom, self-expression, and real power, the things that you're committed to. Every time you're willing to go, hey, I'm pretending X, but what's really going on is this, it's having this impact on my life, and I'm now responsible. I'm causing the matter, maybe not causing the matter. I'm responsible for that I've been being that way in life. Every time you take responsibility for that, you open up a new space of possibility. That's actually the work of living a transformed life. So, why am I having this conversation with you? I'm having this conversation to empower your commitment. The commitment that's been being expressed here. Like there's commitments to families working. There's commitments to international business in here. There's commitments to creative projects, to transformation inside of business. There's commitment to communities and relationships right here, in this room. And I'm committed to empowering your commitment to give it the most power that you can have, the most freedom that you can have, and the most opportunity to fully express who you are. That's why I'm having this conversation with you. Got it? All right, so fulfilling that intention, to fulfill those commitments, those things that you're up to, it requires taking on a new level of integrity and a new level of unreasonableness. You're not going to, the ticket in the door to transforming the international gaming world, I'm not saying you're really up to that. I'm just present to that possibility. But transforming the international gaming world is going to take something. You can't just be ordinary old, Michael and do that. Not going to happen. Right? If I just go be normal old David, I end up watching Netflix and drinking Heinekens. That's what normal, average David with no possibility, that's just what I do. I'm perfectly content, by the way. Not doing anything worth a crap. Not inspired, not fulfilled, not satisfied with my life, content, and numb. That's just ordinary life for me. It takes something. So, let's start with what. So why do I say there's inauthenticity in the space? Watch, right? So, how many people were not at a session when you said you would be? Loud and proud. Loud and proud.
You mean on time
Yeah, no, at a set, you missed the session that you said you were going to be at. If you do that. Okay, good. Thank you. Thanks for acknowledging that. How many people have been late? Okay, great. Thank you for acknowledging that. How many people have not done one or more of the assignments, or you only did some of them? Great. Thank you for acknowledging that. Now, if I took the time, right, and I asked every person, if I asked every single one of you, you could all explain to me all of the reasons and the stories and the justifications why it didn't happen, why I didn't do it. People always have, always, 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 I always have really good reasons, stories, and justifications why I didn't keep my word. Don't you? If you look, isn't there always like a really good legitimate reason why it happened? Isn't there? See, I'm not even saying the reasons are invalid. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with having reasons. It's not bad. But see, having reasons, stories, and explanations is very different than honoring and keeping your word. Those are two different things. They're completely separate. So, haven't you noticed, like, I love this line here, it's really hilarious, right? Because sometimes you could notice, you hear other people like telling you all their reasons and explanations. You're like, that is complete nonsense. That is just, I mean, this person is so full of crap, I can't even believe it. Right? They really want me to eat that story and go, oh, okay, all right, fine. You know, I really want that to happen. But when it comes to mine, how dare you? How dare you? Mine are absolutely real. You know we're like that, right? Yep. We're like that. So there's a breakthrough, and this is what I'm really standing for here. There's a breakthrough available when people get that when people are willing to create and stand in that they're being inauthentic with regards to their word. That's a breakthrough. It's one of the primary breakthroughs of the Landmark Forum. Look, you worked on this for like 5 minutes in the Landmark Forum, right? Now we're in the world, we're starting to work on it. We're starting to develop some capacity to actually have your word have real power in the world. Imagine being able to go out into the world and say, it's going this way, and it goes this way. Why? Because you said so, and your word has that kind of power. That's what we're talking about here. That's the opportunity in this conversation. So that new level of integrity, that new level of being unreasonable, that creates the foundation for the next breakthrough, the next possibility. You know, this game of integrity is like an ongoing thing. I've been doing this for 20 years. I'm always like, I start experiencing like I don't have power somewhere. First place I look is where am I not keeping my word? I don't go to, oh, let me invent a possibility. I go, let me start with where I'm keeping my word. Because unless I restore the integrity, I can invent possibilities all day, and it makes no difference. Because it's got no foundation. It's got nothing to stand on. Because if I say the possibility of being courageous and my word ain't worth anything, it dies. Just disappears. It disappears like the last words I just said just disappeared. Make sense? Okay, good. So practicing honoring your word and being unreasonable is as much a part of the seminar as any of the other distinctions that we work on in here. So what it means to be unreasonable is to be someone who's not stopped by your reasons. You're not stopped. Like all the good reasons, when all the good reasons to not keep your word come up, and really good reasons not to keep your word, they come up, don't they? How many of you had a really good reason not to come tonight? You're here, but how many of you had a good reason not to? Yeah, I had one too. I got a scratchy throat. I mean, it's like, can you imagine if I didn't show up? Or I showed up 20 minutes late. Oh, I'm sorry, guys, traffic, my bad. You guys would be like throwing chairs, and it's like, what's going on? It would be so weird, right? So, when those really great reasons, and look, I know I'm preaching to the choir. You're sitting here, right? But I'm asking now, I'm inviting you into another level of integrity, another level of unreasonableness for the possibility that your life is, for no other reason. So, when those reasons come up, you have a choice right in that moment. You have a choice. Are you going to be someone of your word, or are you going to be reasonable? You have that choice. So you might want to watch how you're listening to this. You know, you could be listening for being made wrong, or like I'm indicting you of something. You could also be listening through an internal conversation that goes something like, well, this doesn't apply to me. I did my assignments, or most of them, right? So I invite you, if you're having a conversation like that, just to let any disempowering conversation, just let it go. And instead, listen for the possibility that this could make available in your life. Listen for the power that's available in being a person of integrity. Someone who doesn't just keep their word, but keeps their word as a possibility, not as an expression of right, wrong, good, bad, moral, immoral, ethical, not ethical. I'm not talking about any of that stuff. No morality, no ethics, nothing. Doesn't make you a better person keeping your word. Do you know that? It gives you power, doesn't make you a better person. So let me just find out where it was. So, unless you first confront, and that's what we're doing here, we're confronting the reasonableness that's in our lives. You don't have to look very far. I swim. I'm in the pool. It's like I said, all right, so I always use all these things that I put on to help me swim because I'm not that great of a swimmer. I only started a couple years ago. So I said, I'm going to swim without them. I'm going to do 30 laps. I'm going to do 1,500 meters with none of the accessories. Like, 6 in, I'm like, okay, maybe I'm going to take a break. All right, maybe I'm going to, I'm just, like I got all the reasons are there. All the reasons are there. And I just kept going. All the reasons. It took me 45 minutes. The whole time I was just complaining to myself how I should stop. That's all that was going through my mind. I am so tired, I should stop. You should just take a break. Why don't you just get the kickboard out? Just do that. You're having a hard time breathing right now. Are you drowning? Are you drowning? Are you drowning? I mean, it's like... But that's just the human experience, and it's like that with everything, isn't it? With everything. So unless you first confront your reasonableness, you cannot be effective in living a life of possibility. A life of possibility and a reasonable life, they don't fit in the same thing. You can't be this huge possibility for the world, for your family, for whatever, and be a highly reasonable person who rolls over on their word when the wind blows. Those two things do not fit together. They just don't. So unless you create a breakthrough of being unreasonable, you'll always be assigning your power to your circumstances or to your reasons. Now think about that. You will always, a reasonable person is always assigning their power to some reason, to some circumstance. It's not me. It's not me. I really was tired. I really was tired. That's why I went to the kickboard. Not the result that I wanted, not what I was committed to, but I got a reason instead. Instead of having the result I wanted, I got a reason why I don't have it. And here it is. Do you like it? It's a nice reason. So, let me say it again. There's nothing wrong here. There's nothing to be ashamed of. There's nothing to defend. There's just something for you to own and tell the truth about. Just as any human being could own and tell the truth about this. I'm asking you to consider being responsible for something that has controlled your life. Something that runs you. So, the Lamar Reform and Action Seminar is about being responsible and having a breakthrough in those things that run your life. Michael distinguished it really, really well. It's like, there you are. You didn't say it as a racket, but I'm going to say it as a racket, right? Racket, running his life for 4 hours a day, something like that.
Most of the day,
yeah. Yeah, driving. The racket's driving. Distinguishes it as a racket, lets go of it, boom, miracles. All of a sudden, an entire room of people is connected and working together because that man stood up and had an enrollment conversation because that's what he did. That's rad, guys. That's rad. That's called like wizardry in altering what's possible and altering the reality in life. And that takes being unreasonable. It takes a foundation of integrity. So, rather than being driven around by your rackets. Racket couldn't tell me what to do today. So what we're about here is having you being someone who's not driven, stopped, or constrained by anything. So whatever reasons you had for not doing the assignments, I promise you, if we dug into it, those reasons, you'd find those reasons stopping you in other areas of your life too. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Do the experiment. Check it out. You'll see. Consider that at any moment you're either honoring your word or you're honoring your reasons. So I think has the point been made? I haven't experienced. I have more I could say, but I kind of get the feeling like the point's been made here. Yes? Yep. Okay, good. So I'm asking you now to take a stand. I'm asking you now to take a stand for being a person of integrity at another level. I'm asking you to take a stand for being unreasonable at another level in the seminar. You don't need evidence to take the stand. You don't have to have a track record. All you do is take the stand and then enroll people in that stand. So I want to give some people an opportunity to share. What is it that's opening up for you out of this conversation? What are you seeing as the opportunity for yourself? What are you willing to stand for regarding the possibility of being someone of integrity? I'll let that pass.
Soothing ocean sounds.
Yes. Sounds of LA. It'd be great if the helicopter on the top. That'd really make it an LA experience. All right, so let me go back now. What I'm asking you to share. What's opening up for you in this conversation? What are you willing to stand for regarding the possibility of being someone of integrity, of being someone who's unreasonable with regard to your word? So I'd like to have two people share, who'd like to share. Emily, please, and then Siobhan.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. So I've been working on identifying places where I get upset, and one of them this week has been talking logistics about an upcoming trip that I'm making to go visit my parents.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah.
Are you going to share from the upsets?
No, I'm going to share from the possibility of what I'm seeing.
Of integrity?
Of integrity, yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Okay, so in this conversation that I've had with my mom, I'm committed to having our relationship work and giving up all the things that are always making us fight, because I don't want to fight with my mom. And I want to shift our relationship from being that way to being this new possibility. And she's registered, so I'm like just waiting for the day that we can like have conversations from like her having language too.
So what is it that you're seeing as the possibility for you?
For
of
me-
integrity and unreasonableness.
So what happens is when I get upset, then I'm on my position and I can't get off of it. And I saw it, and in that moment saw that it's my word to give it up.
Yes.
And I gave up something major with my mom
Yeah.
and let her be right, and was like, I understand, like you heard my side. You're gonna have your side, and I'm gonna let you win on this. And she was just like baffled.
Wow.
That I was like, okay, I want to have the peace is more important.
Did
Like,
you guys get that?
like the peace is more important, and it was major for me.
Yeah, I mean, that's literally giving up running a racket or whatever it was,
Yeah.
or being upset as a matter of her word.
Yeah.
That's out of that. That's a person with a commitment to having their word be who they are. That's an action consistent with that. Now, that's like in such an enormous amount of power. It's just mind-blowing. Really good.
Yeah.
Really good. So what do you see with possible in having that breakthrough? What do you see is possible for you going forward? Not just with your mom, but as a human being.
Like that is unheard of for me. It's unheard of for me to give up my way. And so it's like, I'm trying.
You're not trying. You did it.
Yeah,
You did
but
it.
I'm trying to get to being able to let my position go, and
Yeah.
just seeing where it is just it doesn't matter. What is more important is my relationship. So
Awesome.
I'm trying to.
Isn't that inspiring? And here's the thing, you don't have to wonder if you can do it. You're not on your way to doing it. You did it.
Yeah.
So now you don't have to wonder if you can do it anymore. You know you can.
Yeah.
Good job, Emily. That's really great.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi there. Whew. So first of all, I want to do something kind of unreasonable right here,
Okay.
which is to tell the group that at the beginning, when you asked us if we were going to miss any sessions, I had said no.
Mhm.
I didn't think I was.
Yeah.
But I am breaking my word because I am going to miss the next session.
Gotcha.
So just wanted to let them know that.
Thank you for being responsible for that. I got that.
So this has just been such a huge,
Actually, I'm sorry, let me just,
Yes.
so did you guys get, I mean, what would that be in this conversation? What is that? What did she just do?
Restore the integrity of her word.
Yeah, she honored her word. She honored her word. And we can get into the whole story, but we're not going to do that. But she honored her word. That has integrity. That's a human being generating integrity. So thank you for that.
sure.
Yeah.
The whole question of integrity makes me really emotional right now,
Yes.
because I had some really major breakthroughs in the advanced course about integrity. So this question that I think you said is, what do you see as the possibility?
Of taking on the next level of integrity and unreasonableness.
So for me, it's a little bit scary because I've been forced to rethink every level of my life where I don't have integrity, including, things that I'm getting a discount on because they don't know what my real income is, and, boundaries in relationships because it's more convenient to not be fully, integral, is that the word?
Yeah, integrous or integral, yeah.
But I noticed, and what was really fascinating when you were asking these questions about did you miss a session, like I would never be the person in the room who didn't miss anything.
Yeah.
But between the forum and the advanced course, where in the forum I was kind of, I came late a couple times, I didn't do everything. In the advanced course, there was even some resistance there to doing some of the break activities, but I got there on time, and by the end of that course, I was making those calls that were like the most difficult thing in my life. And I noticed that it's
Shalon,
just, yes.
what is it that you see is possible now going forward? I got that.
Yes,
and really,
yes.
the breakthroughs that you're creating, what you're creating is outstanding. What do you see is possible for you now going forward, like being a woman of integrity and being someone who's unreasonable? What's possible for you?
I think what's possible for me is to really show up as myself all the time, instead of kind of hiding in the background and being this separate person, like the inside is telling one story, but the outside is projecting something else.
Yes.
And to come together in that way makes me feel like a lot of the things that we talked about in terms of, what you can bring to the world, like that is actually going to make that possible. So.
Brilliant.
So.
You're amazing. Thank you. That's great. All right, so I want to give everybody an opportunity to share to complete this part of our conversation this evening. So everybody, is there anybody who doesn't have a partner? So Anne, why don't you and Renzo share, and then that'll work. Good? Anybody else? Okay, we're good. So with your partner, I'll tell you exactly what now. With your partner, share what opened up for you in this conversation. You can use this opportunity. So there's what opened up for you. You can also use this opportunity to declare your stand with your partner for what you're committing to as a person of integrity and a person who's unreasonable at the next level. You can create that with your partner, or you can share what opened up for you. So I'm going to give you a minute each way. Ready? Begin.